5 historical facts those disturb you a kind of wish I hadn't heard. 1. An entire factory crew happily worked with radium in the 20s, and most of them died horrifically of radiation poisoning not very long after. When radium was first discovered, people didn't realize how dangerous it was for a tragically long time. Its impressive glow-in-the-dark properties made it popular for use in paints, and many female factory workers were hired by the United States Radium Corporation to use it to paint watch dials, a coveted and well-paid job for women at the time. They were obviously unaware of the lethal properties of radium, and part of their job was to sharpen the point of their paintbrush with their teeth, ingesting the poisonous paint as they went. They would even sometimes mess around and paint their skin, teeth, and nails for fun. Years later, most of the workers suffered terrible radiation-related ailments like decaying teeth, crumbling bones, and spines that crushed under their own weight. 2. Until very recently, it was believed that babies couldn't feel pain, so often had operations done on them without any anesthesia. Doctors would instead use muscle relaxers that had a paralytic effect to stop the baby from moving. This meant that while they couldn't move or cry while they were being operated on, they could still see, hear, and feel everything that was done to them. The belief that infants under the age of 15 months couldn't feel pain was largely accepted until the late 1980s. 3. In the 13th century, Genghis Khan killed so many peasants that the carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere were significantly reduced as a result. During his 21-year reign, Genghis Khan's destructive armies were responsible for the deaths of up to 40 million people. While his intentions for the massacres were anything but pure, with nobody left to farm the lands owned by the peasants, they were eventually allowed to grow back into carbon-absorbing forests. It's estimated that 700 million tons of carbon were wiped from the atmosphere, or around the same amount of carbon dioxide generated in a year through global petrol consumption. 4. In 1930s London, parents used to hang their babies in cages outside their windows. To be fair to the parents of the time, with most people in London living in cramped apartments, a regular supply of fresh air, which was considered vital for a baby's development, was hard to come by. The contraptions were designed so that babies could still benefit from fresh air and sunshine despite not having a garden to safely play outside in. 5. In 1518, the city of Strasbourg was hit by a dancing plague where people would dance uncontrollably for days at a time. It began with a single woman dancing solo for a few days, before eventually more and more people became affected. Doctors proclaimed that the illness was caused by overheated blood, and recommended that the inflicted should continue to shimmy and sway the fever away. Musicians were even called in, and a stage was set up in the town center to give the dancers more room. While the idea may seem funny at first, most of them kept dancing till they fell unconscious, and some died from exhaustion, heart attack, or stroke.